And here we go for the moment of truth. Marched about an hour and 44 minutes from the last video part. One went on this rainy day. Embarked to go see. I was curious to see who's gonna take advantage of that public gym. Rock and roll for the truckers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, and for those who build the public gyms, gymnasiums. Let's go see. Moment of truth coming, and couldn't film because it's raining, so didn't want to damage my work tool, because it is a rainy, slippery day, although it's not that cold, and not that cold, so I'm on my marching, and from here to my place, it's still about another 2 hours, so I'm just gonna hit it in and hit it out, and gonna congratulate those who did come to the place here. So we're just gonna go there, do a little bit of a see. Let's see. Moment of truth coming. Moment of truth. Somebody gotta see somebody there. Oh, maybe. Let's cross the street. Turn your heads left or right before you cross the street. Here we are in Montreal, Hawkeye, 2.5 million people metropolis. ISP artist, athlete, philosopher, geopolitical, theoretical, analyst, and theorist. Help support building of the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum face to face with the dancing goddess, the goddess temple, saluting the public workers, and the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, and those, of course, who get it on the go. And that's how we gotta get it on the do, you know. And we gotta get going, sort of. Somebody is there doing some of those exercises. That's what I LOV. Congratulations. You made it on a rainy, dark day of December. Among the few, I see somebody there on the, that's right, even the dog, congratulations. So here's the public gym, and here we are. We're gonna work out, try and exercise a little bit, not too much. Right here, public gym. Thank you to those who build it, and gotta get that. Congratulations, and gotta get it for the LOV. That's talent, and that's it. Rock and roll. Hit it up for the LOV, and here we're gonna go for the. We're gonna put it up here, the inspection. So I guess I can do a little bit of workout here, and gonna do a little bit of training, I guess, as I came, so might as well do some, and I'm gonna check where this was changed. I guess this went from over there to over here. I guess it's better because now when it rains and snow, it was placed there, so it's better over here. So let's put a little bit of that camera right here, switch it, and do a little bit of that workout training, exercising here. That we made it also us. We made it right here, so might as well take a little bit of that advantage, you know. Put a little bit of that corner, get a little bit of that drill, and get a little bit of that workout right here in the gym, and play a little bit with it. And hey, there's gymnasium, public gymnasium, and freestyle dragon versus storm. Let's go. Take off this. My cape, got the backpack on, gotta switch it and turn it. Gotta get it what the time it is, and I don't know what's the time, but gotta get it for the dealers, for the butchers, and for the bakers, and for the doctors, and for the grocery store folks. Just gotta take it off here. Put it over here, shake it off. Let's go for I got the backpack, so I'm already on the workout. I've been here, of course. I congratulate the person who came to show up on the public gym, and working on training, exercising has been, is, and will be my medicine and therapy of choice. We're gonna stretch a little bit, do some squats, and not gonna stay much, maybe hit a little bit of that bag, you know. Got some food inside the backpack, so don't want to mush it all. Gotta be attentive because I got some food in it, so I gotta watch what I do, the exercise, so that it doesn't, of course, go in the bag. But nonetheless, congratulations with those who came. It's not gonna be a long video because it's here on a rainy day, and from here to my place, I got about from here to my place, I got about 2 hours to go drill it. So I'm not gonna spend a lot of time here, but just gonna do a little bit of warm up to get warming up, and gonna head back to headquarters. go for that drill and see what we can work with here. What is this? Then I got some squats. Some of my squats. Always good to do a little bit of hawks. H-A-W-K, hawk, H-A-W-K, hawk. On the toes we go, propel the body up. Click, clack, just freestyle about with it. And we'll do a little bit of arms. Let's do a little bit of arms here, see what we got. Do a little bit of arms, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do a little bit of arms. See what we got here. Let me check. We're gonna do a little bit of arms. Found something here. It's metal. See? So, it's always good, I guess, to do a little bit of arm with it. It's gotta get a little bit of that scepter. See, it's metal. We gotta get it. Go get it. Gotta lift it up a bit. Toss it, I guess. Go for the exercise there. We gotta work out training exercise. We gotta get a little bit of that muscle though. We gotta get it for the XYZ, and we gotta get it for the love, and we gotta get it for the dudes, you know. So LOV here, we gotta get it for the love. Oh, this is looks like a scepter, you know. So kind of has a little bit of scepter feel to it. So gonna go like this and see what else. See what else we got. Always do a little bit of stretching of the neck. Stretch before commencing. Of course, my workout, began hours and hours ago. You know, it was around 2 something in the afternoon when I left my headquarters. So on the March. I went to my old neighborhood when the part first of this December 11th, part first, of course, commences on the December 11th of this part 2 of the Dancing Goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. You know, so definitely gotta go switch it to the left. Switch it to the right, and I got that backpack, so maybe I should put it down a little bit because it's got, maybe it's safer to put it down because I got about 45 pounds in it. So for the workout back home is gonna be some good drills, and I'm gonna put it right here. Imagine I marched with it, and I got food, I got the gloves, red gloves from my anonymous friend, and just with working out with this, it's about 45 pounds, and it's big, and got food, got some bananas in it for feasting when I go back to my headquarters, you know. So, it's always good to go a little bit on the So I dropped it down and he popped out. See, it popped out a little bit on the side here. It just opened, but this is gonna be my food back home, you know, because financially stressed, but at least I got some food here, so we're gonna put it inside. We gotta get it for the gold, we gotta get it for the and so we gotta go do it with that. Anyways, here we are in the room. So it's safe, and let's get a little bit more drill with this one. See, gotta get it for the drill. Left, right, and center. We're gonna go for the XYZ, and we gotta get for the LOV. You know, that's what we gotta get doing with that. We're gonna go do it for the pillars, man. Gotta go for the pillars, and we gotta get for the XYZ. And There we go. Gotta lift it up. Gotta go for that lift up. This is about, I would say 40, maybe 45 maximum, you know. So it's always to pass or just do like this for the biceps, you know. So biceps, and then you go do some more biceps. Let me take some more things here. See whatever we can do. This one's 25 pounds, 25 pounds, so I guess I can do it at 25. I love the green for the dancing goddess arm. You can do, of course, just a little bit on the side. We gotta get it on the do, and we gotta go with the XYZ, and that's what we gotta do for the XYZ, you know, so XYZ in the, pass it to the left, and always get it for the love, and we gotta get it for the doers, man. The butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, those firefighters. I gotta send some LOV in order to firefighters. Always thinking about the firefighters and the butchers and the truckers now on the road, you know. In the daycares, those who change some of those diapers, you know. The truckers, I gotta salute truckers on the road. Rock and roll for the truckers, 24/7 for the truckers, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, all those, of course, now doing some cheeseburgers, some hamburgers. Imagine all the food work, all the work across the North American civilizational complex, how they're doing it, and how they're doing it on the railroads and the rail truckers and public workers, and the public workers now who changing the aqueducts, the sewers across North America. Collective, we gotta get that. Dragon versus Trump, challenge Donald Trump to fight me on the Canadian-US border in a sportsmanlike boxing match, of course, on the Canadian-US border. Donald Trump, and has been challenging Donald Trump since 2018 when Donald Trump imposed tariffs on the Canadian aluminum and steel, and the Canadian aluminum and steel, Canadian aluminum and steel, and Canadian aluminum and steel, and ever since he imposed tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel back in 2018, we gotta go for the 2018 when, of course, it was impositions of tariffs only and solely on aluminum and steel, aluminum and steel, aluminum and steel, on aluminum and steel, on aluminum and steel, on aluminum and steel. 10% 2018, and now with the threat of imposing 25%, 25% of course is a major change in the valuable, and the valuables, of course, which can be 25 cents per dollar. That's 25% is a quarter. So that's a no. We gotta find alternative solution. My DRT theory best, the debt refusion theory. And here I'm gonna go get another one. Wait for somebody a little bit. We gotta go for this. Got 8 pounds. I got 8 pounds here. 8 pounds, you can do a little bit of workout like that, and then we can do like this, and then we can do like this, and then we can do like that, you know. So that's what it is with us. So XYZ, we can do a little bit of a drill before the Dragon versus Trump event. Let's go for the 44 day Rite, 44 day Rite, 44 day 5 of this December 21st is December 11, but until, of course, December 21st, I will, of course, be doing a little bit of that begging, and I'm dressed as a beggar, I guess, because I need a ring to propose. I'm gonna propose, marry me, ask you with Asperger's, HFA, you know. Got that high functioning, autistic, and obsessed about sports and fitness. Dancing is my favorite sport, and I love working out, training, exercise, and I do it over time. I, of course, created my own workout training program system to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario back in 2019. And of course, it's something that I have to be in mind, because sometimes it's necessary to repeat, not just because I have Asperger's and I tend to repeat things twice, 3 times, but of course because it's part of my journey, my fitness journey. And of course I am proud to have created a workout training program system which requires no equipment, and it's relatively easy in terms of the numerology and in terms of the rules of the game of my general integrated whole body training system, which I've created back in 2019. There's a certain imposition, a certain direction, a certain symmetry, and the beauty to it that it requires no equipment, and that it increases general overall fitness. So my workout training program system, which I've created, increases general overall fitness, increases general overall fitness, increases general overall fitness, and I have created it to go in concordium in parallel with a general situation of war, World War III scenario, general warfare situation where it is unfolding now, because I'm an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, financially stressed but joyous, happy, and I'm joyous, happy, but financially stressed. But besides money, you know, it's not all about the money. I gotta be grateful that my rent's paid, electricity bills paid my rent, paid my electricity bill paid, and that's what it is with that, and that's what it is with XYZ. So paid my rent, paid my electricity bill, gotta go doing for the love, and gotta go doing for, sometimes it's not just the money, you gotta take that LOV, and if I make $1 million, $1 billion, $1 trillion, gonna give half, 50% to my anonymous sister friend, of course, who wasn't my friend because of the money. Wasn't my friend because of the money, so I got those gloves, red gloves, gifted me for ready to rock and roll, the Dragon versus Trump situation of the building of the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, something which I will, to build the North American People's Imperial Coliseum in parallel to the Forgotten Goddess Temple, parallel to the Forgotten Goddess Temple, in parallel to the Forgotten Goddess Temple, in parallel to the Forgotten Temple. Sometimes that you need to utilize the symmetry and the boxing and the situational awareness for XYZ factors. And sometimes we just got to do a little bit of squats. Let's do some squats. Squats are always good for the body, for the lower body, but of course I've been marching, so I'd rather do a little bit of the upper body. When I'm here, preferably let's do the upper body more, you know. 25 pounds. Upper body best, because I'm gonna go marching back home. So from here to my headquarters is about 15.6 kilometers, 15.6 miles, kilometers. It's miles or kilometers, something the same. But to switch it, of course, do a little bit of exercising from the left to the right. Do a little bit of those biceps, you know, get a little biceps and switch and turn with it, and maybe do a little bit of the back, you know, symmetry, and do a little bit of upper body best. Because I've been, of course, on the march, and to get here, it took me about, well, when I left early, so I've already been more than 3 hours, almost 4 hours on the march. So almost more than 4 hours on the march, including the time. So since I last checked the phone, it was 6:22 last time I checked. So that means that by now, I'm doing this video, it's maybe close to 6:44, and I do not will to stay more here to more than 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, because I estimate 2 hours to get back home, and I want to get home latest 9:11, 9:11, 9:11. Nothing to do, of course. It's just an Aspie thing, you know. With Asperger's, we have strange rituals and routines, and I do geopolitics, working out, training, exercising, because that gives me the time, of course, to prepare when I get back by 9:11, 9:11, 9:11, 9:11, of course. Gonna get back to 9:30, and I want to be in my room office and temple by 9:30 to verify, look at the news, because, you know, I'm obsessed about geopolitics, so that's what I do, early morning rituals, working out, training, exercising, geopolitics, and rock and roll, my holy trinity, and that's very intense and focused when I work out, train, exercise, and with an intensity, of course, which propounds a little intensity when I fitness, and I love, of course, sports and fitness. It is my obsessive interest, parallel to geopolitics, and that is something which preoccupies my whole life, and for years and years and years, to the point that I predicted an international conflagration, which is unfolding now across the world. Back in 2019, in October, November, I predicted an international conflagration back in 2019, based on several levels of analysis, of course, which, of course, can be on the discussion now, but I'd rather not discuss it, because I'm in the public gymnasium, and of course, some of it I made it public, and some of it is not to be discussed, such as my theory, the total mobile defense theory, the TMDM, the total mobile defense theory, the TMD, the TMD, my total mobile defense theory, and of course, which I'm calling for the implementation across the North American Collective Civilizational Complex, the North American Civilizational Complex, as it is North Americans Unite 24/7, and for the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, always for the nurses, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, and the doctors, and all those, of course, who are involved in the production and the distribution of food, and all those, of course, who are now involved in the production and the distribution of food across North America. I gotta be thinking about those who flip some burgers, those who flip some cheeseburgers, hamburgers, prepare the food, sushi, pizza, the chefs, and those delivering, those in the warehouse workers, the grocery store clerks, those of course in the firefighters, LOV, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, those in the daycares who change some of those diapers today. I gotta be thinking about them. I always gotta salute because let's go for that North American Collective Workers Party. Let's go for that North American Collective Workers Party. Let's go for that North American Collective Workers Party. North American Collective Workers Party. Sometimes which I gotta do a must, and I gotta do implementing my own self, you know, as I'm calling for the public-private partnership of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, which is fundamentally a dream for a public-private partnership, for the North American civilizational complex, which is Quebec, Canada, North America. Of course, we're part of this great North American civilizational complex, and we have so much privilege here, you know, being privileged to have the lights above my head. I gotta give a shout out to Hydro-Quebec workers of the 20th century. We get the 20th century, the Hydro-Quebec workers of the 20th century to build, of course, all the lights. Imagine all that work and muscle. And we need to build some more dams to build. And of course, our dams and electricity goes all the way to the United States. 5 or 6 states. 6 states all the way to Manhattan. 1/20th, the fifth of the electricity goes all the way to Manhattan. All the way to Manhattan Island, all the way to Manhattan. That's our electricity here that I have above my head that enables me to do this video with clean zero pollution energy. So I gotta give a shout out and send some LOV, because now there's truckers of Hydro-Quebec, which are gonna go, of course, XYZ, and they're going all across the XYZ land of the Belle Province, and those fixing those poles, fixing those underneath the ground, the cables up underneath the ground, and they're risking their life. So I gotta give some love to that, because you know that's part of geopolitics one-on-one, and my strategies, initiatives are first and foremost for the defense, the North American Complex Defense and Security and Service, the North American Defense, Security and Service, the North American Security and Service for the defense, only for defense and defensive capabilities, and instead my initiatives are strictly and only for defense of the collective North American civilization, for the collective North American civilization, especially my TDM. Total TMD, the TMD, Total Mobile Defense Theory, the Total Mobile Defense Theory, which of course we gotta be implemented on the XYZ, and that's what we gotta be doing it now. It starts with me doing this workout, exercising a little bit here, doing a little bit of left and right jabs, preparing for the Dragon versus Trump. ASAP inauguration is on the 20th, but of course on the 20th, the inauguration, of course, something which I gotta keep in mind. My Scorpio brother Joe Biden is still of course something which we gotta do of the XYZ, and that's what it is for that, and that's what it is for the XYZ, you know. So that's what it is. Always saluting, always gonna get it on the march, always getting on the march for that, and always, of course, meditating on the privileges which we have, part of this civilizational complex, which we gotta go on the XYZ, and that's what we gotta go doing for the love, you know. Sometimes this LOV that's required. LOV is important, you know. It's not all about the money. And I know somebody who wasn't my friend because of the money, because I never had any money. I got now kisses by the trillions for the dragon, and trillions of marching steps, push-ups, working out, training, exercising, push-ups, working out, training, exercising on those push-ups and on those hawks and on those squats, and always meditating about all the sins that we have in common, and strictly and only for the defensive perspective. That has to be understood that my dream, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, is the coast-to-coast North Americans unite, the North American Democratic Republic. We got to get that North American Union, and we got to do a great census of everybody who was here since 2017 when I crossed Canada coast to coast, and that event in my life had made me, of course, stop being depressed and suicidal, and I've established a strong esprit de corps, with my fellow Canadians, a strong esprit de corps with my fellow Canadians, and of course since then, of course, have enabled several measures of contention, and of course of a certain NATO functional diaspora, non-NATO functionality of the security of the North American NORAD, because Canada, United States, we have the NORAD complex, and I'm a philosopher theoretician, and I encourage all the workout, train, exercise. I'm not going to divulge too much into my theories and philosophies at the moment because I'm working out, but I'm really excited to present especially the solutions for our current financial social situations, which solutions which we got to focus on. And you know, I've suffered struggle being with Asperger's, being androgynous, pansexual, rainbow, dragon, rock and roll 24/7. You know, with Asperger's, it has been a trouble to maintain friendships, and It's often misunderstood because it's not a mental illness, and I tend to go on and on and on about geopolitics as a philosopher, as a geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist. That is my obsessive interest, and when I get back home I do geopolitical analysis and revision, and in the morning and in the afternoon, and when I work out, train and march, and parallel with dancing, you know, Rainbow Dragon is that priestess. Rainbow Dragon is that priestess. You get 50-50 being androgynous, pansexual, but sometimes you gotta forget that part and just focus on the propositions and the initiatives, such as, of course, the implementation of my trinity of theories, which is the CIT, Citizen Integration Theory, the DRT, Death Row Fusion Theory, and the Democratic Fusion Theory is the only solution at this point in time. So there's no other solution due to the fact that we pay so much interest which we pay, that there's no solution now. Which we gotta do, of course. We gotta implement the DRT, the debt refusion theory. Is gotta go do it for the XYZ. That's all we gotta go do it for the XYZ, and we gotta do implementation of my DRT theory, the debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE, the universal exchange. It gotta be implemented for the DRT because we pay 46.5 billion in interest. That's a staggering amount of interest which we pay. 46.5 billion in interest. That is such a big number, which of course we gotta meditate that. That's 46,000 million. That's 46,000 million, which we gotta be thinking about, you know. So that's what we gotta go doing with that, you know. So it's always something which we gotta be meditating upon, you know. As I do this workout, gotta get those biceps, and that's how much we pay in interest on the public debt. I don't want to be too alarmist and emergency, but it's possible for a great Canadian financial collapse, the public finances of Canada to collapse in January. But I have the solution, which is the DRT, debt refusion theory, by which we will create the UE and we're gonna get rid of the border. Let's unite North America, Canada, US. It's time. The king is absent. The king is absent. The king is absent. There's no king, and here we're gonna make the great linguistic compromise, which we continue to make with the French language, myself putting an effort every day by writing rock and roll songs and encouragement of citizens to work out, train, exercise, and that's it for that workout here. We're gonna go direct it and put it back and get it going now. That's where we gotta go. That was fun, and we gotta get it for the XYZ, and this was fun coming here, and somebody came, so congratulations to those who came. I thought it was gonna be nobody here because it's a rainy day, but thank you. The only thing I would like to do is, of course, I use my gloves, but otherwise we gotta disinfect. So I always say that if I come here, stay more than an hour, I'm gonna actually just do my part, and I'm gonna clean, swipe the floors, but it's not the case today because I only stayed 25 minutes and 44 seconds, and 25 minutes and 44 seconds, 25 minutes, 40, so I'm just gonna put back everything that I took, you know, so I'm gonna put back. See? Oh, now this feels so light now. This was the first one. It feels so light now. This feels so light now. So let's go bring it up. Gotta get it for the do, and gonna go back from here to my place. There's still a long way to go, so I still got a lot of finishing my workout. I gotta get back by 9:11, but gotta get back by 9:11. So here it is, the scepter. Gotta go put it on. Oh, this was fun. This was nice and green. I just love how it's so green. Makes me, because the red is my favorite color, and the color of the dragon army, but green is the color of the dancing goddess army. So I got to do some biceps, upper body, you know, flip it. It's time to rock and roll, man. And I just noticed that it's made in Canada. It's made in Canada. I just noticed it's made in Canada. So at the end, I checked the barbell. It's made in Canada. So here we are. I gotta go back now. Now it's time to go back to headquarters. Gotta put it on the nose. Gotta put this on. Gotta put this back on, and we gotta go do it for the love. Head back to my headquarters, and gotta go for the XYZ, and gotta go for the LOV. Gotta go for the lovers, man. You know, so we gotta go for the love, man. You know, so gotta go for the love. Build a forgotten goddess temple. Yeah, I've got it on the head, and There we go. I put it back. And now with this, because it's raining, so now I can scooch back. Here we go. That was it. So from here to my place in Integree, it's a while to go, I guess. So I'm still gonna get out of rock and roll. But thank you for building the gym. Thank you. I would actually love to put an aqueduct there, aqueduct, you know. Aqueduct, you know, that's what we're gonna go do it with that. So it's sometimes which we gotta be implemented. And look at that red. Look at that red. Pledge your allegiance, dragging us that red. It's like a V. V for victory. North American Union, all who come to join us in the North American Collective, LOV. All who come to join us in the Collective, LOV. All who come to join us in the Collective, LOV, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, the DRT, debt refusion theory. Calling all to support the DRT. Debt refusion theory is the only solution. I'm going to now discuss it. My DRT, debt refusion theory stands for D, debt R refusion T theory. We now pay 46.5 billion in interest this year on the public debt. It went from 2020, 2021. It went from 2020, 2021. It went from 2020, 2021. It was 20.3 billion. So 20.3 billion times 2, it's 20.4, it's 40.6, right? So it more than double. That has to be understood and comprehended, that it's not sustainable, and of course it more than double just paying the interest. So that's a calculation, of course, due to COVID, and encouraging my fellow citizens to go for another round. Good for you. Working out, training, jogging on a day like this. We gotta support it, encourage each other. We gotta support and encourage each other. We gotta support and encourage each other. We gotta support and encourage each other, and we gotta do on the XYZ. That's what we gotta be doing on the love, you know. So it's something which we gotta be comprehensive about, and we gotta be meditating about, and we got to encourage also fitness, and sometimes which we got to be doing on the LOV, you know. So that's how it is, and that's that VVV looking red from that skyscraper there. See, that's a VVV. V looking red, and here we go back to my headquarters out west. SPA got that Asperger's, HFA, high functioning autistic, and credit for the foundation of the goddess, dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom, 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 dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom. I created the foundation for the dancing goddess in the dragon kingdom. I credit the foundation with 718 trillions of kisses for my dream, with some push-ups, some hugs, and gotta be encouraging all to work out, train, exercise, and the DRT, debt refusion too, my brothers and sisters. We gotta be implementing it. There's no other way. Now, what's happening now across the North American Collective, there's no other way. There's no other way but my DRT. I gotta be saying it, so I'm gonna be explaining it now. The DRT, debt refusion theory, stands for D, debt R refusion T theory. So we're gonna take all the public and the private debt, including my $10,000. We're gonna convert all the public debt of Canada, and again, it's the only solution. There's no way out of this, and we're about to have perhaps a worse black swan scenario due to the fact that public servicing of the debt, in other words, paying the interest on the debt, Canadian public debt has more than doubled in 3 years. And I had COVID, I survived it. I died during COVID, I say February 2020. I'm being reborn every step, every workout, every rock and roll song, which I make French and English on the daily, and can rock in that Spanish, because I learned Spanish in the past 7+ years, more than 7 years. I live there, where I live now, it's been on the plus Spanish, so that's what it is with that. So XYZ, we gotta be circumspection, and the DRT, debt refusion theory, is the only solution. My DRT includes monetary integration theory. Monetary integration theory is the financial theory which was done, established, and implemented in the European Union. So we're going to take all the public and the private debt. So all the public and the private debt. We're going to take all the public and the private debt. So my debt, your debt, our debt. All the public and the private debt. My debt, your debt, our debt, coast to coast. We're going to come